Hello, the game has started and I've got a fantastic rack. I've got both blanks and the rest of the rack is pretty balanced, so I probably have a choice of bingos here. I'm looking to get the W on the double letter square to maximize score, and having done that, my preference is for the blanks to be duplicates of tiles already on my rack. And if I can't achieve that, then tiles which are less bingo-y than others. Always difficult to find the optimal bingo with more than one blank, so let me see what comes to mind. Now with the W, it makes sense to look for prefixes like where, W-A-R-E and W-E-A-R. Can't see anything there. Down, ward, word. Okay, I can see womerers and seaworm. Womerers gets the W doubled, but it also uses the blank as an S, which isn't great. However, I don't want to waste a lot of time on this opening play. I think I'll just scroll through the alphabet with one of the blanks and see if anything leaps to mind. Nothing so far. Worm also available. Wordage, which gets the W doubled and doesn't use an S. There may be something here. I've got work. That's the womerers rack. That's the womerers rack again. Overawe and re-avow. Yeah, I quite like those. However, I'm going with wordage. It doesn't place any vowels next to premium squares. Not a great rack. I draw the Q without a U or an I, but probably good enough to play through rather than change. I'll be looking to play off the K and possibly the G. The G doesn't go well with the Q. So I could play keg, but I'd also like to play off as many tiles as possible to maximise my chances of drawing an I or a U. Through an I would have chin. None of the tiles on the board help me. I can't see anywhere great for keg. I've got Greek in column 6 for not very much. And I've got no with an E, also for not very much. So great to start off with a bingo, but it's going to be tricky to keep the momentum going. Now I can play geek, which gets the K tripled and also interferes with the S hook for wordage. That's the best I've seen so far. Geek taking a Y and an S. Wow! Great bingo by my opponent, and he's played through one of the non-blanks, so I couldn't have prevented that. There is an I for chi and chin, not scoring very much. My geek spot has been taken. However, there's a new geek spot in row O. Do I have a longer play through the E? I don't think I do. So geek for 27. And that's looking a little better. I've got chi and chin on my rack, plus the plurals of those. And there's also a U on the board, which maybe I should have given more consideration to last turn. So I've got quoin and quino through that. I can't see anywhere great for my chin or chi. I've got chins and geeks. 39 points. That, I think, is the best play I've seen so far. And that also means, well, I also have chins and wordages. 33 points for fewer points. If I play chins, my rack leave is E-O-O, which is pretty bad. However, quoin or quino only scores 14 points. So not worth taking the point sacrifice. Great, my preferred chins spot remains available. 39. Well, not a disaster. The V is actually a good tile on a non-bingo-y rack with a lot of vowels. So Evoe is good. And through an R, I would have oeuvre. Dots blocked the R of wordage. Overuse through an R as well, which does play, but uses the S. Wow, another bingo by my opponent. Fortunately, only 59 points. He's 1 point behind me now. He has provided an R for oeuvre. That's not going to score very much. Through a U, I would have uveus. Again, that's burning the S, and I'd quite like to keep hold of that. I think I'm going to struggle to play off the O and the U. Well, why not go with oeuvre? Well, that's the reason, placing an O directly underneath a premium square. Not good. Over leaves me with 3 vowels. So what about playing Evo somewhere and retaining the U? So I could play that here. Or maybe not. Does it play somewhere else? I could play E-Rev, but that's keeping 00 14 minutes on the clock. I can't hang around for too long. Well, what about playing it here? For 24 points, a good score. Slightly dangerous with the E, since the X is still out there. But if my opponent does play in the bottom left, he's leaving the wordages hook alone and all the floaters in rational, and with the S, one is always fairly close to a bingo. Great, I have volutes, which plays in column 11. Do I have something else? Does that play anywhere else? Great, it doesn't matter, my opponent has not blocked it. Volutes actually plays now down here. And that's not massively dangerous, since V takes nothing after it in terms of plays in column 15. And cheese takes nothing after it, so my opponent is limited to these 5 squares. The score of 92 is huge. 79 for the column 11 play. So I'm going with this. And that is a fantastic pickup. I have Hepster and Spurth. Does either play? Neither has the S in last place for column 11. Well, Spurth plays in column 12, making emu. And is there another anagram? Not sure about Pethers. Threeps. I think Hepster, Pethers, Spurth, and Threeps. Well, not entirely sure of all of those. Now, what about row E for a double-double through the I? Can't see such a play. I've got a 100-point lead, which is good. Column 5 also available for a double-double through TO something E. Pretty tricky to see a 10-letter play, although I note that stones would play through that if I had an N. So TORES, the most likely. So Tors plus Theep TO. Can't see anything which works there. So what am I going to try at the moment? Spurth and emu, I think. It doesn't score as much as Threeps and wordages, but I'm sure of Spurth. That's been blocked. 32 points for my opponent. Not too bad for me. So what to play? Let me consider the other floaters, or the floaters in Rationale. Can't see anything through the R. What about the A? 13 minutes on my clock, 36 tiles left. Can't see anything with the A. The T. Can't see anything. The I. Tree ship is good. It's not a double-double. I don't think it has an anagram. And the O, not available. So it's a little bit frustrating not being sure of the anagrams here. However, let's see if this stays on. Is that sensible? Given that I know tree ship is good, I'm going with tree ship. For 76 points. Quite a good rack, not a great one, but no duplicates and balanced in terms of vowels and consonants. G and U together, not great. GBC, not great. Still no vowel, no blanks out there. What about the S's? One S. So will I be punished for leaving wordages available? The X is still available for going underneath the E of Evoe. Now, looking at my own rack, onto a D, I would have cuboid. That would sort the rack out. 29 tiles left. I've got a good lead, 130 points. It's in my interest now to expedite the end of the game. And the way to achieve that is to play a lot of tiles. I've got Booge and Bogue on my rack. I don't really want to play those at K1 because they open up a triple lane. Although the B in 4th place, not particularly dangerous. However, only 20 points, so not great. I could play Bogue in column 4, retaining the E. That's quite nice, keeping ice. What else is available? The floaters in Inducible, I and B, not particularly dangerous for bingos. G only takes an A and a U in front. Quite a lot of A's out there. So slightly dangerous. Great. OT, not good. Fantastic. Superb. Now, what am I going to do with this rack? I don't think Booge is optimal. 22 points. Do I have a play at D1 across? Can't see anything. I have Caribou. Or I would if I had an A. Nothing goes in front of the V. S goes in front of Mutt. Nothing else. Nothing goes after cheese. Geeks may extend, but not with my rack. Bogue for 22. Pretty horrible. Picking up IPUY. So, what shall I do here? Only my E goes underneath the E of Evoe, so I could play Yipe in that spot. It doesn't feel great. It is taking out the X danger. It's keeping a U, but there are no more U's to come. $22 points, not great. It would be much nicer to be scoring in the 30s, so is there anywhere great for the Y? I suppose a play through the O with the Y getting tripled would score a lot, but I can't see such a play. Pretty horrible rack leaves CIU, but only one I to come and no U's. So it's not going to get any worse. Or is it? I draw the X, having just blocked the hot X spot. However, that doesn't matter. It's still good to have the X. I'm looking around for the premium squares to maximize scoring with it. I would need an E to go after the R to play in column 9. 18 tiles left, 9 minutes on my clock, 12 on my opponent, so I'm in pretty good shape. I'm wondering about a play in row L. Certainly a 5-letter play ending in X would be good. So that would have to begin AN or IN. Just can't see such a play. Pretty slim pickings here with the X. I would really benefit from having one of the E's. So at the moment I've seen nothing. I don't have to play off the X straight away. 40 points for my opponent. He's now 120 behind, so I'm still in good shape. I think the trouble with this rack is I've seen very few words that can be made from within the rack. Just nicks, really. I can't see anything down from the C. Can't see anything across from the A of rationale. Can't see any floating E's on the board. Now, PE takes a C. I've got nothing which goes after ID, so that's not worth pursuing. 14 tiles left. Orcs in is good, and I have that on my rack. So I could play that across from PE. Let me see what this scores. 18 points, which is not great. It is expediting the end of the game. The rack leave is fine. I'm stopping my opponent from scoring heavily here. I'm getting rid of 5 tiles from a pretty non-synergetic rack. Very few candidate plays were presenting themselves. I may have overlooked something massively better. That's just the way it is. I'm going with this. Great, I draw the final S. 9 tiles left. I can see the remaining tiles. Not particularly bingo-y. Not many vowels. 6 vowels out of 16 tiles. Okay, not as vowel light as I initially thought. Looking at my own rack, I haven't got a 7-letter bingo that I can see through an eye. I would have finances. I'm looking at the floating A of rationale. Can't see anything through that. I do have scoring tiles in the C and the F. And I've got the S for going after wordage, so I could just play in column 11. Fanes, F-A-N-E-S. 25 points. Maybe not optimal, but it's certainly good enough to guarantee the win, I think. I can't see my opponent coming back from 140 behind. I don't think the board really has the possibility of bingoing twice. And that's what my opponent would need to do to beat me. Or score a bingo-y score with the Z or the J. So my opponent could play Hagi in column 1. So how can I score more than something crappy like 25 for Fanes? Probably worth hanging on to the S, since it is the last one, if I can score a similar amount elsewhere. So where are the scoring spots? Well, I was going to say scoring spots for my C and my F, but my opponent has lost contact or quit. Wait 4 minutes. I thought it used to be 3. Okay, I shall wait. Great, my opponent is back, and I wasn't expecting him to return, so I was not spending the time looking for a better move. I was just doing nothing. Now, only 6 tiles left, including the J and the Z. I could play Calf down here for 23 points. It keeps the S. It takes out floaters, which may be useful to my opponent. Yeah, so the Z could have gone next to the A. I don't like keeping duplicate N, but it's not a disaster. So I'm going with this. Wow, great pickup. I have Tinners in column 11 and also column 12, making smut. My opponent may scupper both of those. So do I have a bingo through AR? Can't see such a play. Close to tariness. What about FA? That would probably begin FA. Can't see anything. So my hopes are holding out for columns 11 and 12. I don't think there are any other bingo lanes to consider. And it's not obvious how to block both of these lanes. 3 tiles left. If my opponent's got the J or the Z, he may be looking for a 2-letter play for either. Well, he hasn't. He's played for 20, and this is fantastic because look at this. He has got a full rack of tiles, including the J and the Z, and I am going to bingo out. Now, which spot scores the most? Column 12 scores 2 more for the main word, and 6 for smut. Okay, so it's column 11. Interns also playable, but for the same score, 73 points. Yeah, it's all good. And my opponent ends the game and loses 400 on countback. Fantastic. So glad he returned. He just has to press pass to end the game. Which he's taking his time about. So let's see what publicly available information there is about him. Signed the fair play agreement. Great, he does end the game. And the final score, 314 to my opponent, 542 to me. A winning margin of 228 points. So a massive, massive win. Let's see what I missed. It was me to go first. A ton of bingos. Krakow, quite nice. I can't see any plays which only duplicate tails on my rack. And 74 is the highest score available, so I'm reasonably happy with wordage. My opponent's rack, great bingo from him. Educible. Did he have any others? Nope. Well, just the same in coming down from the top. My rack, Keno for 30. Okay, I actually prefer Geek because G and Q lack synergy. N has some synergy because of Chin. So I'm happy with Geek. Nice rack for my opponent. No bingo. He plays dot. F2 Chin. Oh, wow. What an oversight. I play... And I missed Sink as well, or Sank, whatever. I played Chins for 39. I could have got 2 more points and kept the S, so that was remiss. Opponent plays a bingo. I have a Grim rack, and I play Evo. That looks fine. Horrible rack for my opponent. He plays Miri, which is fantastic, because I play Volutes. But what was available through the eye, a double outlives. Should have seen that. Fortunately, it didn't cost me much. Opponent plays Dita. Now, what was good? Okay, so Threeps was good. I played Tree Ship for 76. So I sacrificed 10 points because of that doubt I had about Threeps. Peather's also good. Okay. And then Preheat, C3. There was a bingo through the A. Okay, well, Tree Ship was a bingo. Opponent phonies at that point. E11, Cube. E11, Cube. Doesn't look right. C-U-B-E, worded G, not good. E11, what am I doing here? I must be missing something. Ah, no, it's going across, making E volutes. I forgot about the E front hook for volutes. Very nice, 27 points. Bogue for 22, 5 fewer points, but retaining the E and a vaguely synergetic rack, certainly more synergetic than Geo, so not a huge miss. However, it's nice to be aware of what the board has to offer, even if you don't use it. So I play Bogue, opponent plays Flab, and now I guess Yipe and Evoloops would have been a good play because it would have taken out bingo lanes. Yeah, so Yipe for 29 instead. I played Yipe for a lot less, I think. 22, 7 fewer points, and a worse rack leave. Opponent plays Haid. Now, I struggled with this rack. In the end, I played something which doesn't even make the top 10. Orcs in. B2, Axon. Yep, I think that would have been the play. It's not a terrible rack leave. Sign-in also available in column 2. So there were options here. Crux, quite nice. Orcs-in didn't feel optimal, but I think there's a thing which goes on when you're about 100 odd points ahead and you can see the end of the game and you're pretty much guaranteed to win. It can sometimes take the edge off your optimal finding bingos, and you see a play which you know has enough good things about it in terms of a good enough score, good enough tile turnover, good enough rack leave. And it's not so much laziness as something which you're just not in top gear in terms of finding the best play. It's something which shouldn't exist, but I notice it as something which does exist. Now, opponent plays Homie. I play Calf, keeping a rack leave, which wasn't great because it had 2 ends. But there's a 6-point difference between this and Cafe, and the E is worth quite a lot. So E11. Well, again, Cafe and Evolutes is using the E hook, but it's taking out bingo lanes, which can only be used by me since I have the last S, so I prefer Calf. Well, not a horrible rack, but anyway, opponent plays Ego, and I have Interns and Tinners, which is great. And what did my opponent lose on count back? 26, 52 points. Fantastic. Yeah, so I played Tinners, and that's the end of the game. So pretty exciting stuff. It's great to go out with a bingo and catch your opponent with a lot of tiles on his rack, and you can see from the shape of the board that there's no ladders, there's no clogging, it's just spreading out in all directions, and there's a ton of bingos on the board. So a great game to play, and hopefully a good game to watch. And I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I will see you next time.